Have you ever wondered why you're here, in this exact moment? What if I told you that your soul chose this life, chose this body, this timing? Every joy and every pain long before you ever took your first breath. It might sound far-fetched, even strange, but hold off on judgment for just a moment. Because if that's true, then everything you're going through, from your deepest wounds to your most unexplainable joys, carries a purpose your soul already knew. It wasn't by chance that you met that person, loved the wrong one, or lost someone dear. It wasn't random that you were born into this family, in this country, with these burdens, and it's certainly no coincidence that you're watching this video right now, in this exact moment, as part of something bigger than you may have ever imagined. In today's video, we're unlocking a completely different way of looking at life, how your soul may have chose and this path before reincarnation, the deeper lessons hidden within your pain, and why even your deepest wounds might actually be gifts. Come with me on this journey, and you might never see life the same way again. Because maybe, just maybe, this very moment is something you once chose. Have you ever met someone for the first time and felt an inexplicable bond, as if you've known them forever? That wasn't chance, it was a spark of recognition from a deeper truth. Those vivid dreams that feel too real to be mere imagination. They're not just dreams, they're memories. The déjà vu that sends chills down your spine. The unexplainable fears that grip you. The unshakable intuition about places you've never visited. These are not random quirks. They are echoes of something far greater. Whispers from a soul that has walked this path before. Your soul has a story, a purpose, and in this video, you're about to uncover why you're here. From the moment you took your first breath, the world was designed to make you forget. The soft walls of a nursery became the first boundaries of your existence, subtly shaping your perception. Language, meant to connect, was handed to you not to expand your mind, but to confine it. You were given a name, a nationality, a belief system, labels carefully crafted to anchor you to an identity that was never truly yours. Society taught you what's real and what's impossible, dismissing your questions as foolish, urging you to conform. But deep down, you've always sensed the lie, that restless feeling, that quiet whisper in your heart. It's your soul trying to remind you of the truth. Here's the secret they don't want you to know. The world you wake up to every morning is an illusion. This material reality, the one you navigate daily, chasing success, status, and possessions, is nothing more than a fleeting stage, a temporary projection of energy molded into form. Yet, most people cling to it as the ultimate truth. They pour their lives into accumulating wealth, chasing recognition and seeking validation, convinced these define who they are. They run from pain, chase pleasure, and measure their worth by what they own, never realizing that none of it follows them beyond the grave. This illusion is reinforced every single day. You're fed a script: go to school, land a job, buy a house, start a family, retire, and quietly fade away. Happiness, they say, comes from fitting into this system, from producing, consuming, and obeying. Generation after generation follows this path, unquestioning, conditioned to believe this is all there is. But that's the greatest deception of all. What if I told you your soul chose this life, knowing it would face this illusion, that it willingly stepped into this world, not to be trapped, but to learn, to grow, to awaken? What if I told you that before you were even born, you knew all of this, that your soul, unburdened by a name, a gender, or a body, willingly entered this world, knowing it would be trapped in this illusion? It wasn't forced, it agreed. But why would a soul choose to forget itself, to live a life full of struggle and uncertainty? Because Earth is a school, and you came here to learn. Life in the physical realm is a test. An experience designed to shape your soul through hardship, love, loss, and growth. Every challenge you face, every moment of suffering, every lesson repeated is part of something far bigger than you can imagine. But here's the catch: none of it is meant to be permanent. This world is a passing phase, a training ground before you move on, and yet, most people never wake up to this truth. They remain trapped, lost in the illusion, tangled in desires that keep them reincarnating over and over again. The more attached you become to relationships, to possessions, to status, the harder it is to break free. The system feeds off this attachment, reinforcing the idea that you are just your body, that life is a one-time event, that nothing exists beyond what you can see and touch. You've probably felt it before, that quiet whisper in the back of your mind telling you that something about this world doesn't feel right. Maybe you've sensed that time isn't as linear as it seems. Maybe you've had dreams so vivid they felt more real than waking life. Or maybe, just maybe, you've started to remember glimpses of something you were never supposed to recall. That's not your imagination. It's your soul trying to wake you up. Death is not the end, it never was. You have died before. You have left this world, shed your body like an old piece of clothing, and stepped into the unknown. But the moment you crossed over, it all made sense again. The illusions of time, identity, and separation faded, and you remembered what you had forgotten. You were never just this single life. You were never just this name, this story, this fleeting experience. You were something far greater. The moment of death is not darkness, but clarity. Your entire life flashes before you, not as a series of disconnected memories, but as a single tapestry woven together with meaning. But here's the part they don't tell you. You don't just see your past, you feel it. Every action, every thought, every word you ever spoke ripples back to you. If you caused pain, you feel that pain as if it were your own. If you spread love, you become that love. This is the life review. The first step in the transition from this world to the next. For some, this moment is liberating. They see their life with new eyes, understand the lessons they came here to learn, and are ready to move forward. But for others, this moment is terrifying. The weight of regret, the things left unsaid, the attachments still gripping their soul, it all becomes overwhelming. And when a soul is not ready to let go, it lingers, it clings to the familiar, afraid to move on, stuck between two worlds. This is why some spirits remain bound to the physical plane, unable to release themselves from the very illusion they once lived in. But those who do move forward are guided into the next phase of existence. They enter a space beyond time, where the soul is free from the limitations of the body. Some experience this as a tunnel of light, others as a vast, endless horizon. The form it takes doesn't matter. What matters is that this is where the real journey begins. Once the transition is complete, the soul is pulled into a higher state of consciousness. Here, there is no suffering, no fear, no limitation, only understanding. Some souls immediately feel a sense of homecoming, as if they are returning to a place more familiar than Earth ever was. Others take time to adjust, still carrying echoes of their past life with them. But no soul is lost. Every soul is guided, watched over, and led to exactly where they need to be. And then the great question is asked, what's next? For many, the answer is clear. They see the unfinished lessons, the calm still unresolved, the growth that has yet to be achieved. And so, they choose to return. They choose another life, another body, another set of experiences, knowing that when they are reborn, they will forget all of this once again. It is a cycle, endless until the soul awakens and breaks free. But what happens if a soul refuses? What if it does not want to return? What if it resists the pull of reincarnation? This is where the deeper journey begins. Some souls ascend higher, beyond the pull of rebirth, into realms of existence where they no longer need a body. They continue to evolve, moving towards something even greater, something beyond human understanding. But for most, the cycle continues: life, death, rebirth, again and again, until the lesson is learned, until the illusion is shattered, until the soul finally realizes that it was never truly trapped to begin with. And the question remains, is this your last lifetime, or are you still bound to the cycle? Not every soul moves forward the same way after death. Some rise effortlessly, shedding the weight of their past lives like a snake shedding its skin. Others struggle, carrying attachments, regrets, and desires that hold them back. The transition is not automatic, and it is not the same for everyone. What happens next depends on the choices you made in life and the energy you carry with you. For those who lived with heavy burdens, anger, resentment, greed, or deep, unresolved wounds, there is a state of purification. Some call it purgatory, but it is not a place of punishment. It is not fire and brimstone. It is not torture. It is simply the process of release, where the soul confronts the weight of what it has yet to let go. Here, the echoes of past choices replay in vivid clarity, not as a punishment, but as a final lesson. The soul is not judged by an external force, it is judged by itself, by its own awareness, by its own realization of what it became. For some, this process is brief. They understand, they accept, and they move on. For others, it can feel like eternity. Souls who resist, who refuse to face their own reflection, linger in this state, trapped not by an external force, but by their own unwillingness to surrender what no longer serves them. This is why some spirits remain tethered to the material world, ghosts of their former selves, still attached to a life that has already ended. But those who do release, who find peace, ascend beyond this phase. They enter what some traditions call the second heaven, a realm of pure thought, unshackled from physical form. Here, the soul exists in a state of expansion, no longer bound by the limitations of the body. Time does not exist. Space is fluid, there is only awareness, and with it, the ability to see life from a higher perspective. In this state, souls reflect on the lives they've lived, the choices they've made, and the paths still left to walk. Here, there is no suffering, only understanding. They see the interconnected web of existence, the way every action ripples outward, touching countless lives in ways they never realized. They see how the choices they made in one life affected the next, and how the patterns they repeat are not accidents, but lessons waiting to be understood. But there is still another level, a higher state before the cycle begins again. This is the third heaven, the final phase before reincarnation. This is where souls rest, absorb, and prepare. It is where the deepest cosmic truths are revealed, where the soul fully understands the nature of existence before choosing to return. It is a place of pure knowing, where all the veils are lifted, and the soul is granted a temporary glimpse beyond the illusion of the material world. Yet, despite all this understanding, most souls still choose to come back, not because they have to, but because they are not finished. They are drawn back into the physical world, into new bodies, into new experiences, because there is still something they must learn, something they must balance, something they must complete. And so, the cycle continues. But what happens when a soul decides it has had enough? What happens when a soul no longer wants to return? That too is a choice. but one that only the rarest of souls make. Most souls don't escape, they don't ascend beyond the cycle. They come back, lifetime after lifetime, caught in the same patterns, repeating the same lessons, chasing the same illusions, and the reason is simple: attachment. Attachment is the invisible chain that binds souls to the physical world. It is the desire for more, the hunger for wealth, for power, for recognition. It is the need to control, to possess, to define oneself by temporary things. And as long as a soul is attached to the material world, it cannot leave it. It will keep coming back, pulled like a magnet, locked in the endless loop of birth, death, and rebirth. But attachment isn't just about material things. It's about emotions, about unresolved karma, about identities that a soul refuses to let go of. A person who dies still consumed by anger, resentment, or fear will carry that energy into the next life. A person who lived for status and validation will return to chase it all over again. A person who clings to their identity, race, religion, nationality will be reborn into the same circumstances, trapped in the same illusions, because they have not yet learned to see beyond them. This is why the cycle is so hard to break. The soul is not forced to return, it chooses to, again and again, because it has not yet realized that none of this is real. The suffering, the struggle, the endless chasing, it is all part of the illusion, an elaborate game the soul plays with itself, and until it wakes up, it will keep playing. But the greatest trick of all is forgetting. Each time a soul is reborn, it forgets everything. It forgets the lessons of past lives. It forgets the mistakes it has already made. It forgets the moments of realization it had before, and so it starts over, thinking this is the first time, believing it is living a unique life, when in reality, it has walked this path countless times before. Some souls begin to sense this. They experience déjà vu, unexplainable fears, or deep, irrational attractions to certain people and places. They feel an underlying restlessness, as if they are searching for something they cannot quite remember, and that's because they are. The past is not truly gone, it lingers beneath the surface, waiting to be remembered. But for most, the distractions of the world are too strong. The noise of modern life, the pursuit of success, the lure of entertainment, the endless stream of information keeps them occupied, keeps them asleep. They chase love, status, pleasure, never realizing they are running in circles, never stopping to ask, have I done this before? Breaking free from the cycle is not about escaping life, it's about transcending it. It's about realizing that none of this is permanent, that everything you think you own, everything you think defines you, will one day disappear. The soul that clings will return. The soul that lets go will ascend. And so, the question is not whether you will reincarnate, but whether you will wake up before you do. Will you see the illusion for what it is? Or will you come back again, repeating the same patterns, trapped in the same cycle, until one day, maybe lifetimes from now, you finally decide to let go? Most souls don't escape, not because they can't, but because they don't even realize they're trapped. They go from lifetime to lifetime, chasing success, chasing love, chasing power, believing that fulfillment is just out of reach, that one more achievement, one more experience, one more lifetime will finally bring them peace. But it never does, because peace, real peace, is not something you find in the world. It's something you find when you step beyond it. Escaping the reincarnation cycle isn't about rejecting life, it's about transcending it. It's about seeing the illusion for what it is and refusing to be bound by it anymore. It's about realizing that everything you have ever chased, everything you have ever suffered for, everything you thought mattered was all temporary. and that nothing temporary can ever bring you lasting freedom. So how do you break free? It starts with awareness. The moment you recognize the illusion, it begins to lose its grip on you. The things that once seemed so important, money, reputation, social approval, begin to fade. You stop reacting the way you used to. You stop chasing the things you once believed would complete you, and instead, you start turning inward. Mindfulness is the first key, not the watered-down version that's sold to you as a tool for productivity, but real mindfulness, the kind that forces you to confront yourself, the kind that makes you question everything you've ever believed. When you observe your thoughts without attachment, you begin to see how much of your identity is just programming. You begin to see how many of your desires aren't truly yours, but were placed there by the world, found you. And when you can see that, you can start to let them go. Meditation is the second key, not as an escape, but as a way of remembering. When you sit in silence long enough, the layers start to peel away, the distractions, the noise, the false identities, they all dissolve until all that's left is awareness itself. And in that space, something happens. You begin to remember not as a thought, not as an idea, but as a deep, unshakable knowing. You remember that you are never just this body, never just this name, never just this single, fleeting life. You were something far greater. The third key is detachment. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It doesn't mean you stop feeling, stop loving, stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you experience life fully. But you don't grasp at it. You enjoy. But you don't attach. You love. But you don't try to possess. You live. But you don't fear death. Because you understand that nothing here is truly yours. Nothing here is permanent, and that's the point. There is one final key, the most difficult of all. It is the realization that you are not the one who escapes the cycle. The very idea of you is part of the illusion. The person you think you are, the identity, the ego, the self, was never meant to last. It was always temporary, always just a role being played by something much greater. And when you stop identifying with the role, when you stop believing you are just this character in a temporary dream, something shifts. The illusion collapses, the cycle breaks, and what remains is something beyond words. Few souls ever reach this point. Most will continue, lifetime after lifetime, pulled by desires, by unfinished lessons, by the weight of their own attachments. But a rare few will see through it. A rare few will step beyond. The choice is always there. The cycle continues for as long as you choose it. But the moment you stop playing the game, the moment you stop believing in the illusion, the moment you let go, you are free. Every lifetime is a choice, but most don't realize they're making one. They are born. They follow the path laid before them. They live as they are told to live. Then they die, only to do it all over again, not because they are forced to, but because they never stopped long enough to see that they had a choice at all. Right now, you are at that crossroads. You are hearing this for a reason. Maybe this is the first time you've considered the possibility that life is something greater than what you've been told. Maybe something inside you has always known, but never had the words to explain it. Or maybe, deep down, you felt this truth all along. You've just been waiting for the moment when it would finally make sense. That moment is now. Most souls will remain asleep. They will cling to their identities, their desires, their attachments, believing that what they chase in this life will bring them the fulfillment they seek. But it never does. The job, the money, through relationships, the achievements, none of it lasts. It is all borrowed, and one day it will all be returned. And when that day comes, they will find themselves back where they started, facing the same choice once again. But just a few will wake up. To awaken is to see through the illusion, to recognize that everything you experience is just a passing moment in the infinite stream of existence, to understand that you are not your name, your body, your story. You are the awareness behind it all, and that awareness has been here before. It has watched you play countless roles in countless lifetimes, in countless worlds, and it will continue to watch until the day you decide that you no longer need the experience of being human. That choice is yours, but waking up isn't easy. The world is full of distractions designed to pull you back into the illusion. Society will tell you what matters, the people around you will reinforce what is normal. The systems in place will keep you busy chasing things that will never fill the void inside you, and if you let it, the noise of the world will drown out the quiet, knowing that has been whispering to you all along. The rarest souls reject the noise. They stop running. They stop chasing. They stop playing a game, and instead, they turn inward. They question everything. They let go of what they once believed was important. They unlearn what they were taught, and in doing so, they begin to remember, because the truth has always been there, beneath the surface, waiting for you to notice. And so, the question is this: will this be just another moment? Another idea that fades as you return to your daily life? Or will this be the moment you choose something different? The moment you take your first step toward waking up? Because one path leads you back into the cycle, back into another lifetime, back into forgetting. And the other leads beyond the illusion, beyond the limitations of time and form, beyond everything you thought was real. Few souls will choose the second path. But if you're still here, still listening, still feeling that quiet pull inside of you, maybe, just maybe, you are one of them. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident. Nothing in this universe is random. The fact that you are hearing this now, in this exact moment, is proof that your soul is ready for this knowledge. Maybe this is the first time you've questioned the nature of your existence, or maybe you've been searching for answers your entire life. Either way, you've reached a turning point, the moment where you decide what comes next. Most people will forget. Tomorrow, they'll wake up, slip back into their routines, and drown in a sea of distraction, social media, work, endless noise, letting this profound truth slip through their fingers like sand. They'll keep running, chasing the next promotion, the next relationship, the next fleeting moment of validation, convinced that this time it will make them whole, but it never will. Wholeness isn't a prize you win or a goal you achieve, it's a truth you remember, a spark of divinity that's been within you all along. The few who wake up, they see the world through new eyes. They stop reacting to every external trigger, stop playing society's endless game of chase, stop letting the illusion of this material world dictate their reality. Instead, they step back and observe. They watch how people cling desperately to things that fade: money, status, possessions as if these define their worth. They see how others distract themselves with noise to avoid confronting the emptiness within. They notice how so many chase dreams they don't even truly want, driven by conditioning rather than desire. And as they watch, something shifts. The illusion that once held them captive begins to lose its grip. The world that seemed so solid, so unyielding, starts to crack. Through those cracks, the light of truth begins to shine, revealing a reality far greater than the one they've been taught to accept. The path to liberation isn't about rejecting life, it's about refusing to be controlled by it. It's about moving through this world with grace, free from attachment, fear, or the cycles that have trapped you for lifetimes. It's about remembering who you are beyond the labels, beyond your body. You're a name, your story. You are not a fleeting moment in time. You are an eternal soul, a fragment of the universe itself, here to learn, grow, and awaken. Stop chasing external validation and start embracing your inner truth today. Waking up is just the first step. True freedom comes when you align your life with this truth. It's when you stop seeking meaning in the external world, money, fame, approval, and turn inward to discover the infinite well of purpose within. It's when you stop chasing and start being. Living each moment with intention. It's when you make choices not from fear or fleeting desire, but from a deep, unshakable knowing that you are far greater than you've been led to believe. This is the moment to break free from the cycle. Choose to live consciously, starting now. The hard truth is, most will stay asleep. They'll choose the comfort of familiarity, the safety of the known, over the discomfort of awakening. They'll hear this message, feel a flicker of recognition, then walk away unchanged, back to their loops of chasing and forgetting. But not everyone. A few will feel it deep in their bones. A few will recognize the call of their soul. A few will remember who they truly are. If you're still here, still listening, that spark is alive in you. You already know what comes next. A journey to reclaim your power, to live as the creator of your reality. The question is, will you answer the call? What did you think about today's video? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind or helped you see reality in a new light, don't forget to like and subscribe to Top Hidden Knowledge so you never miss our next deep dive into mystery, perception, and the hidden workings of our universe. And if you have time, explore more videos on our channel. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning the world around you.